Okay, so here's the basics on how to hold the violin bow properly. I'm going to start by just showing you how it looks overall, but I'm going to go way more in detail after this. First, let me explain that each finger has a purpose on this, and that if you get one finger wrong, you might get a lot of squeaking or a lot of whistling, and you're not going to like the sound. The entire sound of your violin pretty much relies on how well you hold the bow and how good your bow technique is. First of all, you see that my hand is relaxed. I am not gripping, I am not clenching. Everything is just natural. Okay? One of the first things I want you to notice is that the pinky is standing on its own tip at the top of the bow. Okay? As you have noticed, the bow has flat sides, and when I use those to put the pinky on it, the index is curled around the stick like a hook, and the thumb is also having the same shape as a hook. Okay, it's very hard to see in this angle, but what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna show you with a pencil in a little bit, but I just wanted you to see the final result, and I'm gonna show you how to get to it. Okay, so those are the three basic things that I think are the most important about holding the bow properly: the arching on the pinky, standing on its own tip, the hook on the index, and also the hook on the thumb. Okay, this is the hardest one to show, but see, it's arched inwards, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold the pencil and I'm going to show you step by step how to get to this result. Okay, any basic pencil will do as long as it has flat sides on it. There are some pencils that are completely round. I think just a basic, typical yellow pencil will do. They have 6 sides, which is very close to what we have on the bow. The bow has 8 sides. Although it's not the same, it's close enough. Okay, so here's how we start. First, with a right hand, we're gonna make the C letter shape. Make sure that you got the thumb pointing inside your hand, this way. Not that way. See, if you have it extended this way, you're not going to be able to do a lot of the things that we can do with the bow and that allow you to play really well in the long run. Okay, so now that you have the C shape, let's introduce the pencil. And now I'm going to place it right at the tip of my thumb, see? Not on the fleshy side, not in the cushiony side, not down here, but right at the tip of the thumb. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to close the C shape by turning my hand and putting the pinky on the pencil on the flat side. Okay? So that's what this looks like. Now, it looks more like an O. The next step is to lie down these 3 fingers on the stick and make them go around. They can go around like they're hooks, okay? All of them are hooks. The index, most of all, is the one that has to be curled in to hold the pencil as if it was the hook in a crane. If I put it this way, it looks more like the pencil is hanging from my hand. So pretend we're doing that. Also, you can see a lot more clearly here that the thumb is pointing directly at the pencil. See, it's not holding it this way. This way, it limits me a lot because there are many movements that we need to do with the bow. One of them is to be able to push the stick back and forth with just our fingers. That's a more advanced technique that I'll show you later, but I'm just saying that if you have the correct position on the thumb, you're going to be able to do that later. See? So we're supposed to be able to do this and then combine that with the wrist a little bit and then the whole arm. Okay, so now that you have that right all you need to do is now check to see that these fingers are not on top here. These have to come around quite a bit, securing the bow, as if they were also some kind of a clamp or a hook. But all these fingers do is just stabilize and just hold. They don't really do anything. The ones that do most of the movement are the pinky, the index, and the thumb. Here's how. The pinky is responsible for pushing down and lifting the tip of the bow. Okay? So this is a good exercise. Flex your pinky and then flex your index. Push down with your index because that's the function of the index. Now, the job that we're going to have for the thumb is that it's going to be an axis between the pinky and the index. You see, the pencil is going to rotate on the tip of the thumb. That's why we need the thumb to be on its own tip, not on its cushiony side. Otherwise, it gets really tiring. And you're not going to be able to move the pencil with just the fingers as well. We should be able to flex it quite a bit. Okay? Now you see that there's still a little bit of a hole right here. Okay, so make sure that you have plenty of space between your palm and the pencil. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you the wrong way so that you can know right away when you're doing it. I see a lot of beginners do this. This is very typical. They play the violin this way. They hold it as if they were holding a fork or a knife, you know? So, and this is how they play. It's very difficult to get a correct bow hold. That's why I'm making it. That's why I'm telling you step by step using a pencil, because it's a lot simpler. Okay, so again, don't do this, or don't hold it like you're holding a bicycle handle. You know, every finger has a job to do, and as long as you remember what they are, then you'll do fine. Okay, so let's move on to the bow now. Okay, so now let's practice this on the bow. So I'm holding the bow with my left hand. Start holding it this way. Then I'm going to get my right hand involved, making that C shape with my hand. Then I'm going to get my right hand making that C letter shape first, and I'm going to put the thumb right underneath this black leather part that is supposed to be a handle for your thumb. It goes right underneath that. Okay? There are some players that hold it differently. Some players prefer it this way. Some players prefer it a little further up. But for now, just so that you get the basic hold, let's just place it right underneath the leather grip. Okay? So once you have that, making that C letter, that's very important. Then what I'm going to do is now bring down the pinky on its own tip this way. See? That's supposed to sit right on top of the flat side of the octagon. Okay? Alright, so the thumb is pointing right at the stick. Now the pinky is sitting right on the stick. Now, these three fingers, now move them on around the bow, making sure that the index is shaped like a hook. And there you have it. All it is. So, to summarize, hold the bow with the left hand. Make the C letter shape with your right. With the thumb still bent inwards, place it right underneath the leather grip. Then bring the pinky on it by turning your hand. Now these three fingers, around the stick they go. So now the index finger is a hook. And make sure that you're not doing this. This is also the wrong way, okay? I see a lot of beginners do this. And that's okay. All you have to know is that these go around, and they're very much like clamps on the bow. Usually one guideline that I do that helped me a lot at the beginning is with my ring finger, I put it right on top of whatever logo, or some bows have a circle here, some have a flower, you know, whatever graphic you have here, cover it with your ring finger. and that should help you a lot. Okay, so there it is. So I'm going to show you again several angles. See the index as a hook right on top of this stripy part. You might have metal wire here, all those are different, but it goes around the stick. These two are clamps. The pinky sits, the pinky stands right on top of the bow on its own tip, being able to flex it. The thumb is also pointing right at the stick so that we can use it as an axis to turn the bow this way. Okay. So that's what it looks like, and I hope this video helped. Remember, practice a lot and you'll get it right.